good evening, or good time of day, wherever you are. YouTube and Instagram try to fight smoking, so they would not let you monetize or promote your content if you're smoking. But drinking doesn't seem to be a problem. You can drink in your videos and still promote them and still monetize them. So I'd rather be smoking, but yeah, I actually want to boost this one up and see how it goes. So I have to be drinking instead, which is probably fitting considering the subject I'm about to engage with. Okay, well, I think the toast is in order. This one is not mine as well. Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. It's yeah, perfectionism is not a good thing to deal with. But this is the one I translated today, right? I don't believe it was translated into English before. At least I haven't found any versions, and I did try to find some. And it's a poem by Serhiy Zhadan, or Serhiy Zhadan in Ukrainian pronunciation. He's a well-established writer, prose writer, and poet. I had the privilege of seeing him live quite long time ago when he was young and skinny and hungry, and it was something. It was something to behold. And my deep conviction that poetry ought to be recited and not published in a book to be read and contemplated upon in quietness of one's room actually stems from me attending Zhadan's performances. So I owe this to him. So he is, well, I mean, I'm saying fat in a good sense now. So he's established, right? So I think he could live from his writing. And not so long ago, he enlisted into the armed forces of Ukraine. He volunteered to serve in the armed forces of Ukraine, which is worth a lot of respect, right? I express my respect to him for that, right? Especially since I am, well, in Berlin and not volunteering to serve in the armed forces of Ukraine. I mean, we have different situations. I have my problems, he has his, but still the fact remains. He did go, he's over 40, he's older than me, I think. He's probably like actually approaching 50, maybe 48-ish, 46-ish. He went out and joined the infantry, as far as I understand. So I kind of think, I mean, I know I'm cynical, right? Like, you have to be fucked up to think like that, but we're both writers. So I think one of the reasons he did enlist is to be able to write about it after the fact. So to Serhiy Zhadan, may he go through this ordeal alive and change in a rather bad way, because this is actually what can happen, right? He can come out on the other side of it quite fucked up, and this is what I'm actually afraid of. One of the reasons when I wrestle with the question of whether or not I should somehow, just like more directly participate in this whole thing is that I know that after the fact, if I survive, I somehow think I will. Everybody does, but whatever, it will fuck me up in such a way that I will never will be unfucked, right? So I sure hope this doesn't happen to Serhiy Zhadan. I hope that he comes out on top, alive, and relatively mentally healthy, because I mean, I think no one comes out of something like this completely healthy. So to that, I drink. So the poem of his is one of my favorites. It's a narrative, comical piece in a sense. It's called in Ukrainian "Він був листоношею в Amsterdam." It's the first line. Basically, it's about a postman from Amsterdam who, well, goes on the adventure. And I'm gonna read you my translation. I put some work into it, and I think it's actually not too bad. Not too bad. I wonder what some of the Zhadan fans who are also as good with English as I am will say, but I think it's a decent translation. So, ladies and gentlemen of the West, the English-speaking world, Serhiy Zhadan, він був листоношею в Amsterdam, Ukrainian poet, good man. He was a regular Amsterdam mailman, a fan of ABBA and Tramadol. On weekends, for something to do, he was poor, or met with his friends, the radical drunkards, and rather turn up, confused, troubled lot, who have always reminded him, man, we have fucked it all up. How did this happen? How did it slide? Fact remains, we're in deep shit. Just look around. Our own land has to offer only stagnation and moral decay. The liberals and the leftists for hire hold firmly in hand the positions of power. Truly, once at a loss to see how are we still somehow surviving, by which grace we are so far kept barely, if barely, afloat. The EU itself is government-led by a naive and retarded. There's lots of talk of freedom and progress, right? You just go out and try to score some good weed. See how that will work. But, so said his friends, in the East, they say in the East, there exists still a country, today, most likely, the last one remaining, standing alone, where sun of the freedom has not yet set, where face is put firmly into the people, free and unburdened. Come and try to establish some basis for unrestricted transactional commerce. Let's build some strong cultural bridges. Let's build something to last. There, so his friends kept on selling every house and home as a matter of course, untouched by the grace. There the churches, even those of questionable Moscow patriarchate lineage, wave away curses and minor transgressions, no questions asked. And to Jah, during daily service, they give recognition and praise. The artisans there and the other producers stand all as one through the powerful unions, and will manage fields of collective farms, give, as if singing, their annual yield of unparalleled size. There, they drink absinthe to cure common colds, and their demons, posing as women, hiding deep down in the throat the seductive and dangerous darkness, will submit to your every desire. Go, man, but remember, the best, of course, is Afghani. So bring back some, establish a plug. Such was the repeated no pressure but pressure sells pitch. So no wonder that one of those days our postman succumbed and committed. The geist of adventure, establishing hold, winning him over completely with promise of other and new, unexpected and odd. And thus he took a first step on this way. With some courage, he flew Air Donbass, an airline, in all fairness, having a decent track record, but serving for breakfast nothing except either vodka on ice or beer. Either beer or vodka on ice. You decide. He ordered the brew. Taking a sip, he flew over the border of Schengen region, all his possessions left and abandoned, left behind. All right, alighting somewhat gratefully in the city of Donetsk, of all the foreign tongues speaking only some Greek, which supposedly every other local could also speak, he was spotted and cared for by a rather odd couple. The driver, old Ford being his ride, and the driver's friend, irritable from being both dopesick and hungover, but the stars were shining with bright intensity as if cheering them up, as to bless the unlikely endeavor, almost promising a successful end and satisfying result. The driver said, "It's all good, homie. Come, feel yourself quite at ease. Here are the friends around. See for yourself. Don't you know what I mean? You have set foot on the promised land. We're gonna drive to Stahanif. Man, there's so much weed. The whole Amsterdam will be nicely supplied, I'd wager, for as long as a year at least." The space was bound by the evening limelight. Winter ruled strong. The month of February had just begun to consolidate its hold. The moon, like a bird of prey, was with calm persistence sinisterly chasing them all the way. Lending the dark light to the world, the hills shone with woke maidens. Ukraine was being hit by the heavy cyclones. They raged all night, drowning the souls of the unfortunate under the snowdrifts. Graves wide and pure, the souls thus excluded, souls thus concealed in the cold. At the 45th kilometer mark, our three adventurers came to a halt, surrounded by a sudden and ferocious blizzard, the darkness upon them turning complete, visibility ceasing to be a fact. The temperature dropped in a way hard not just to notice but to ignore. The driver said, "Damn brother, it looks like the end. Pray to your Rastafari saints." The fuel had frozen, the conversation had quieted down some time before. Thus came from the ports, from Azov, and the demon of sadness hovered above. The postman, to try and warm up, drank a bottle of Delirant he had on his person. He was trying repeatedly to call someone on mobile, but from the phone he heard only the standard. "The number you're calling cannot at the moment be reached." Life, generally, is a bitch. As if you're drowning in a wide and fast river, and your death is not necessarily something which matters, it's something which can go completely unnoticed. What usually happens is the cell operator changes, and slowly but surely the incoming calls are no longer put through. And surely but slowly, the incoming calls are no longer put through, are rejected, forgotten, and eventually there will be no people to even dial the number. So, well, Serhiy Zhadan, Ukrainian poet, hope you enjoy. The guy went on the adventure. It didn't turn well, but he did try. Maybe February is not the best month to visit Ukraine, I suppose you could say so. That's it then. Have a nice evening or time of the day, and well, I mean, yeah, thanks for watching if you did.